Hi, welcome to episode 6 of Estheticians in Business, the podcast. And honestly, I'm so excited you're here. And maybe because I'm always excited you're here, but I'm very excited you're here this week because this week we're actually going to be talking about, I think, a question in some way or another I've gotten over the past, I think forever, honestly. I actually have gotten a variation of this question in my Facebook group, Estheticians in Business, the Facebook group. I will link that in the show notes if you want to join. I go live every Friday from like 15 to 20 minutes at 2 o'clock Central Time. And I go live actually answering the questions that you ask. So I have like a Google form that you can fill out and you basically just answer or ask questions for me to answer. And I love it because I actually get to answer the questions that you specifically have in your words. And that's the part, one, it makes it super easy for me, but also two, like you actually get the questions you have answered. And that's the cool thing about this is because I coach, right? But sometimes you just have one question you've answered and you don't want to, pay for a whole coaching session, which makes total sense. I get it. I wouldn't either. So I answer those questions in the Facebook group. And one of the questions I get probably all the time is some way or some form about Instagram and how to get clients on Instagram. And yes, getting clients on Instagram is incredible because you do get to, build a community, you have somebody that's watching you all the time and just building trust with you and loving you. You don't even realize what's going on behind the scenes, that every post you make, every reel you make, every story you connect with, every person you DM and ask for help and answer a question or for free and not think anything of it, you don't even realize who that's impacting. But the real question is, and this is something that I actually in some way had this question was like, I can't do other things because I don't have Instagram. So I can't get clients elsewhere because I don't have followers on Instagram. And the thing is, how do you get following without connecting with people? So without whether putting content out there or meeting people like in the wild in real life or meeting people on other social media platforms, like how are you funneling people to your Instagram if you're not doing anything to build it? Because the reality is we all started zero. So people that have millions of followers, people who have, I have almost 8,000 followers, people who have 8,000 followers, people who have 30,000 followers, they all started at zero. And that's where you have to remember is that we're all starting at the same place. So I'm going to talk about a few ways that you can get clients, but also I want you to focus on ways that you can get them to be funneled to wherever you are at. So for instance, if you're somebody who's like, I do want to build my Instagram following, let's funnel everybody there. That's perfect. That's exactly what I do when I was an esthetician. Like I am an esthetician, but when I was in the treatment room specifically, I really didn't build my Instagram at all. And I did have somebody one time ask for like pictures of my work. And I didn't have an Instagram. I had it on my phone, fortunately. And so I was able to show that to her. But I still got the client because of me. And not because my Instagram following was this massive thing, but because I was still able to connect with her in other forms. Because, you're not getting clients because you're not building on Instagram. Okay, that's true. But are you networking? Are you asking for referrals? Are you building a loyalty program? Are you showing up in Facebook? Are you showing up on TikTok? Are you showing up consistently somewhere else? Are you at a BNI or are you at our Chamber of Commerce? Are you at networking groups that, people throw in the events section on Facebook? Are you going to vendor events? Are you doing giveaways? Are you showing up other places? Are you connecting with your barista at a coffee shop and giving them your card or getting them to follow you on Instagram? Are you doing those other things? Because the idea that you only get to focus on Instagram as a business owner and you're going to make $1 million, you are wrong. Okay, you are wrong, especially in the fact of building a community that is based locally. Now, if you're somebody who's doing digital products that can be sold all over the world, yes, your main focus obviously needs to be on social media or on some type of website. But I can tell you right now that if you're somebody who's building locally, you know where you have to build locally. So we're going to talk about that, but I want you to focus on every single one of these things I'm going to be talking about. We are going to funnel all of those people to Instagram some way. Okay. So my very first way that I love to get clients is Facebook groups. Now, if you live somewhere that has, like a population of any sort, they most likely have a Facebook group that is made for you. Okay. So I live in a very small town now, but I did live in a larger place. And both places that I've lived have very, very similar groups. So for instance, I actually, as soon as I moved here, I went on Facebook and I joined Facebook groups that were for moms. I'm a mom. Facebook groups that are for moms. I joined Facebook groups that are for women. I joined just like what's happening in my county groups. But I also, during my research, I found Republican groups. I found Democrat groups. I found non-toxic groups. I found like dad groups. I found single mom groups. I found like Christian groups. I found so many different groups just in my small town. And if I was to be a brand new solo esthetician, or even if I was to open up a place here, I absolutely would be in those groups. And it's funny I mentioned this part because so my husband is becoming a barber, which is actually really, really exciting, mainly for me, because he is like contemplating the idea of maybe going solo. So he'd be like a solo barber, which I feel like sounds weird, but he'd be like an independent, just like solo estheticians, right? And if that's the case, I told him, I was like, how exciting would that be? Because then, of course, guys, don't worry, I'll give him a discount on my course. He would, I'm just kidding, he can use it, but he would be able to be out in the community. And I told him, I was like, you would become the barber of our county, of our community. Give me a few years. And you would be like, people would know who Jessie is. Because your barber shop would be like the place to take kids, to take, people with hair. I don't know what, barbers do exactly, but he would be the place. And so that's the idea is like, yes, I told him you need to be getting content for Instagram. Absolutely. Like, no doubt, dog, get it, right? Record what you're doing now in school, but that's not the only way you're going to meet people. Like, it's not. Yes, Instagram is used for Google, like similar to a Google search sometimes. And that's why we optimize our bio, right? I get that. But that's not going to be the only way that we get work done. It's not going to be the only way that you get clients. It's just not how it's going to be. So Facebook groups, right? We're in these Facebook groups. I digress. We're in these Facebook groups. You're going to choose one that's active, one that is really rumbling, okay? Not one where the same lady makes a post about something she's selling every day. We're not doing that. Go to the one where people are actually like commenting, where do I get the best facials? And then you got like 42 people who answer, okay? That's where you're going to go. You're going to get in there and you're just going to commit to this group, right? This is your group. Now you're going to be talking to people. People ask a question. You're going to answer. You're going to, when they have a business thing, you're going to post about your business. You're going to tell people who you are. You're going to ask for content ideas. You're going to ask if they have questions about skincare. You're going to do the model method I talk about all the time. And if y'all ain't doing the model method yet, you are missing out on so much. And do the model method the way I said, not the way this is my discount. Nope. Do it the way I said. Okay? Anyways, if you're like, Al, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. There's a few ways you can figure it out. You can go to my Instagram. I know, I'll funnel you to my Instagram. And you can find it in all the marketing stuff I talk about. 2, you can DM me and I will tell you about it on Instagram. Or you can join our Facebook group, Estheticians in Business, the Facebook group, and I will tell you there. Or you can buy my course. It's Estheticians in Business Marketing course. I know you weren't going to guess that, but I talk about it there, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to be in that group, and that's going to become the group that you are the esthetician in, the esthetician. We're not going to be part of a group that barely people are doing in, or it's just business groups, or because those don't do anything, or it's another esthetician group. That doesn't make any sense. You're not gonna advertise other estheticians. They ain't buying from you, okay? So go to a place that you have a connection with. So if you're a mother and you enjoy being a mom, go on a mom group. If you are a Democrat and you like talking about Democratic things, go to a Democrat group, okay? Try to be around people that you want to be around. Same thing with like, if you're a dad, join those groups, okay? Because dads do like facials. It's not a lie. They do like it. But anywho, so that is a way. And then once you say you've DM'd them and you've got them in on your books and you've talked to them on Facebook, you're going to be, and they're not ready to purchase from you, or they're not ready to book a facial with you, or you didn't do the model method or anything like that, you're going to still try to funnel them over to your Instagram. Hey, do you have an Instagram? I'm really active over there. There we are, Instagram, okay? Or when they book, you're going to have a QR code of some sort that has a place for them to follow you on Instagram. You're going to ask them, can you follow me on Instagram? That's where I'm super active. That's where I'm going to be showing a lot of like things that are going on in this fall. That's it. They follow you on Instagram. You follow them back. Okay. All right. So that is one way that you can get clients. All right. Number 2 way that we can get clients and funnel them to Instagram is through networking. Ooh, okay. So I know networking scares the crap out of a lot of people. I get it. It is scary business. It is scary. I get it. But do you know why people purchase from other people? Because they have a relationship with them. They trust them. They communicate with them. They love them. They understand who they are. Okay. I'm not telling you to go and join a BNI and it be this thing where you are constantly like trying to, you have to show up every week. I am suggesting that you join something where you do have to show up frequently, where you get to meet people and love them, and you're not just there to give a business card out, you're there to build a relationship with people, okay? Now, if you don't know what a BNI is, it's a Business Networking International. I always talk about it because I had such success with my BNI in Orlando, Florida. And and I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's a big place. I'm telling you right now that if Jesse does decide to go solo as a barber, that guy's getting in a BNI, right? Or I'm going to be the representative in the BNI. Like he's going to be in it. Like we're going to do it. Like if everybody in this BNI is going to, and everybody in this town is going to know who Jesse is because that's going to be the barber. Because how a BNI works, just as a chamber of commerce works, so you can go in there, you advertise, you talk about, you literally physically stand up and say, I want this person, I want you to refer this person to me. That is it. Okay. Like if you were an acne specialist, you go and you say, hey, so say I was an acne specialist and it was still me. Like I was still owning my spot and sell it. And so say I have that. Okay. But like, hey, I'm Allison Steinberg. I'm with, I own I Am Day Spa and I am an acne specialist specifically looking for people that are complaining about way the texture on their skin is. They don't like how their makeup lays and they get really frustrated because they always have new zits, maybe around their chin area or on their cheeks. They may just be like super overwhelmed. Please refer them to I Am Day Spa. We'd absolutely love to have them. That would be something that you would say at BNI. And you know what that says? That says like, okay, I know what my friends and family are saying. They're going to refer you them. And that's exactly what a BNI does. Okay. At these networking events, what you're going to do, because a lot of these places, even if it's not like this networking event, maybe you're doing something with like other women, you're going to get them to follow you on Instagram. You're going to be like, hey, yeah, absolutely. Here's my business card. But the best way to kind of stay in touch with me is obviously going to be on Instagram. So you're going to get them to follow you on Instagram. There you are. Now you've gotten like 3 followers. Okay. Same thing if you're like in a normal networking group that's not a BNI or not a chamber of commerce and you're just working with other ladies, right? Other women or other men. Ask them to follow you on Instagram. Like, yeah, you can have my number for sure, but let's follow me on Instagram. Okay. There's actually like this, can't think of it, our church is having like these, every month they have like a men's group. And I told my husband, I was just like, that would be a great opportunity for you to meet a lot of men in our church. Obviously to meet friends because we're pretty new to this area, but also all those men have hair, right? Now I'm not saying go join a church, you can do this, but go find God. Okay. He's a great business partner. But what I am saying is that this is a great opportunities to join other networking things because a group of women meeting up, a group of men meeting up or whatever it is, they all have something that you may have. I know my husband and I, we used to throw parties at our house all the time. We would have second Sundays, what we called it. And after church, we would legit have a party at our house. We had a big pool, all this stuff. And I remember I actually met a lot of my clients that way. Now, did I intentionally do that? No. I intentionally had parties to connect with other people of a similar interest, like our faith, where we could hang out and swim and play and do things that adults do, right? And yes, I made a ton of clients that way. It was so cool because these people became my friends. We had a relationship. It was good. And so that's what I'm trying to say. But I would always be like, follow me on Instagram. Let me connect with you on Instagram. Because sometimes when you're talking to somebody in front of you, it can be so overwhelming to be like, book an appointment. No, sometimes people just need to have that extra touch. And so when you get them to follow you on Instagram, you message them immediately, like, hey, I'm going to message you so we can always have a conversation in there. Super simple. Okay. And you can do this with any networking event. All right. And so here's your next thing. When you're trying to funnel somebody to Instagram, when you don't have anyone on Instagram, but you still want to build your business. Okay. And I'm going to add that it's very normal. First off, I think only like 1% or something small. I don't even know. Maybe it's like 10%. Small number of people on Instagram actually make it to 10,000 followers. Okay. So let's add that. So majority of small businesses have a very small group of followers. So if someone's going to get on your Instagram and be like, ick, she only has 300 followers, like throws up in her mouth because you know what? She isn't meant to be your client and she needs to go in like detox. Okay. Of her hate. But that's what I'm trying to tell you, that if people are sassy because you don't have a ton of clients or a ton of followers on Instagram, they're not for you. So this is what you're going to do for our next step of getting clients not using Instagram. We are going to do a vendor event. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have gone with two bangers back to back, but vendor events can be so awesome to get people of similar interest to you. All right. So one of my favorite vendor events that I used to do all the time, I was part of like a skincare company. And I would do a bridal event in Savannah, Georgia, where we would go set up a booth and we would do a spin wheel. Okay. And actually this is for my business, but this was just like a bridal event that was really awesome, super fruitful. Okay. And it would be pretty expensive. It was like $1,400 for us to do, but we split it amongst like three of us. And we would get thousands of leads, thousands. Okay. And basically people would go and spin the wheel and like, oh my gosh, did you get to enter to win? Whatever. And people would enter to win. And what we did was on the spin wheel, we would put like free dermaplaning, free whatever, or like a gua sha, and they would get whatever they spun on the wheel, they would get. But they obviously had to, purchase the full facial alongside of that free dermaplane that they got. But we would get tons of people like that, and we would actually have them follow us on Instagram as well. And so same concept on a smaller level was I paid $50 to do a vendor event where I was actually at a brewery. And at the time I was drinking, so I would have a beer and I would do this. And I would literally have people come up to me like, oh my gosh, did you get a chance to spin the wheel? And they'd be like, no, what is this? So I would do the same thing. I would do an entry and I'd be like, can you go ahead and follow us on Instagram as well for an additional entry? And I'm like, yes. So I got followers that way. And the thing is, they weren't like, oh, I'm not going to purchase from you because you don't have a ton of followers. Like, once again, that would suck, right? People don't do that. So that's another way that you can get clients. And I want you guys to remember that there are so many ways that you can find clients, even if you don't know how to, or don't, even if you are just confused or lost. Like, you can literally say you connect with a barista, or you connect with your cashier, or you connect with the gas station attendant. I don't know. This would be a thing, but like you connect with somebody and you're just like, hey, I need, I would love for you to enter to do this giveaway I'm doing. But you can enter to win by following me on Instagram, and I will let you know if you win, and you tell them what the details are, whether it was like enter to win a free facial, enter to win free dermaplaning. Like, you're super awesome. You can enter to win via following me on Instagram. Okay, those are also ways that you can get clients. Now, referrals. Do you know that your friends or your clients are not going to refer their friends because you have 1,000 followers? Or they're not going to refer your friends because you don't have a ton of followers? No, they're going to refer you because they love you. So ask for the referral. Okay, what you can do is you can literally have your client, hey, if you haven't already, can you go ahead and follow me on Instagram? And then remind them and tell them, hey, if you ever have somebody who is interested in getting a facial, or you want to tell them about me, because please do, please have them follow me on Instagram, and then just let me know and I'll follow up with them. I can't even tell you how many, yesterday, I had somebody reach out to me and ask me about like services that I used to provide. And I said, no, I do not provide those services anymore. However, I can refer you to somebody. You know what I did? I gave them her Instagram. This person I referred my friend to doesn't have that many followers, but I know she's good. That person I referred her to got her booked immediately. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, you don't have to have tons of followers to start getting clients. You know how you get a lot of followers? By asking people to follow you. So same thing when you're on Instagram. You can make a reel, but you guys have to understand the algorithm takes time. If you're making a reel, once a month, the algorithm's got nothing to work with. They gotta know, like, the algorithm has to know what to work with. It has to know, okay, should I be pushing out their information to other estheticians? Shall I be they're sending out their reels and stuff to people in their area? Should I be sending it to everybody? Like, how do I grasp to somebody? Okay. And so there's obviously a few ways that you can get Instagram to pull people to you. But one of the best ways to get Instagram followers from your local community is to be in your local community. I mean, literally, the most fun ways that I have gotten clients ever, I think, years ago I did this, but it's actually really funny. So before I had kids, I only have one, but before I had a child, my husband and I would still give out candy for Halloween. And so we would set up a table, but I would give out candy for the kids. And then we actually had White Claws that we gave to the adults. And I would do something similar. I like enter to win. Okay. And we got so many people. And the thing is, after that, my entire community knew who I was. Did they know my name? No. They knew that I was the person giving away something and giving away White Claws. Okay. So that's what I'm saying. You can do fun things like that. I'm not saying go door to door, but you can do fun things where you don't have to have somebody follow you on Instagram, or you don't have to have a ton of people following on Instagram for them to be like, oh. And that's what I'm also saying too, though. When it comes to Instagram, I want you guys to remember specifically that there is a percentage. So it's like around 30% of people who follow you actually see what you put out. So think about it in the sense, if you have 100 people following you, only about 30% of those people actually see you. And I think it's only like 3 to 5% will actually interact. So you have to remember that growing your Instagram is a long game. It is showing up consistently. It is showing up with work that will resonate with people. It's showing up helping people. It's showing up loving people. It's just showing up and giving out value and love that you can then eventually ask for the sale. But it's not something you have to constantly be asking for you to get the sale from people. You can connect with people so many different ways. I always encourage people, I always encourage my students. That's why I teach you how to network. That's why I teach you how to use Facebook groups and Instagram and TikTok. And I teach you how to talk to people face to face. I teach you different ways to make it more comfortable so it's not so scary, because people don't necessarily want to be sold to. They want to be loved. They want to be cherished. They want to feel like they're the one and only, because they are. So I just really encourage you that when you are thinking about your business and you're like, I haven't gotten any clients, well, ask yourself and be real with yourself. Be really, really real with yourself. Where have you been trying to get clients? Because if you've only been trying on Instagram and you've only been asking people for a discount to buy your discounted thing, and you're only asking people to, come in for something, but you're not building anything with them, you're not out in the community, you're not communicating, if you're not doing those things, would you buy from you? I mean, realistically, would you buy from you if you were somebody else? I mean, I had this conversation actually with my husband the other day. So when I was building my online course, I bought a course from somebody on how to build an online course. And I looked back of how long I was following her, how long I was receiving her emails, how long I was opening up her emails before I chose to purchase. Guys, it was nearly 4 years before I chose to purchase, before I believed her, before I decided to give in. And like I say give in, but like actually do it. 4 years. That is wild. So when you think about somebody who is thinking about doing something that you have, they may need you to be like, hey, one more time, show up again, do those things. And I can tell you one thing, if you've ever been in any business where you have to recruit people, where you have to talk to people, where you have to sell them something, sometimes you have to talk about it so many times, and then eventually they'll do it. And I'm not saying you have to be pressured, like pressuring them. I'm saying that like, you know what's best. You're just going to keep showing up. You're not attached to the outcome, but you're going to keep showing up for people. Eventually it's going to happen. I mean, I can tell you one thing, even with like my business personally, yes, absolutely positively. I have people that are purchasing from me and are coaching with me and doing those things. But let me tell you, the first time I did something, I had 2 people buy something from me, 2 people. And then I realized I just started. I'm just getting started. I don't know if I thought that I was going to make $1 million the first time, but I wouldn't. I'm barely just getting started. And you know what I'm doing right now? I'm building and I'm working on my way to, in a few months, where I'm actually going to be a partner in an esthetician group, okay? Where I get to be in front of so many estheticians. So that's what I'm saying to you, is sometimes you have to build and then join things that are going to help you get the clients that you want, show up in the places that you want. You can't just rely on one place and one type of like marketing strategy. It has to be a strategy that is diverse. I mean, think about some of the most diverse things are the most beautiful things. That's exactly what you have to do with your business. You have to diversify, and then you have to funnel them to one place. So you could funnel them to your Instagram. Okay. That's what you have to do. Now, I really hope this was helpful. Obviously, you can in the show notes, check out, I'm going to link to my Facebook group, but I'm also going to link to a PDF saying it's called How to Get Clients. And it's literally a lot of the things I just talked about. They're like quote unquote free-ish ways to get clients. I talk about Facebook groups. I talk about Instagram. I talk about Google, talk about all those places of like free-ish ads that you can get clients, and also paid places that you can get clients too. So I'm going to put that in the show notes, and you can definitely check that out. Obviously it's a free download. So download it for frizzle. Anyways, I hope this was super helpful, and I really, really appreciate you being here. Obviously, if you're like, yes, this was great, Alice, thank you so much. Please screenshot this and share this on your Instagram and tag me in it. I do a giveaway every single quarter of people who share this and to get a free coaching call from me. So That'd be fun. I would love for you to be that person. But anyways, please do that. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.